Oh, let me shut some shades here. Hang on a second. Yeah, we're getting a lot of glare. Oh, geez, you. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Alone. Good to see you guys. I gotta do something. All right. Can you guys see us okay?
Who's here? Ashley and Alone.
Yep.
Nice to see you both.
Yes, it is.
Nice to have you both. I'm putting my slippers on.
And there's JR.
Yay.
We just started, JR, so you got here just in time.
Welcome.
Ashley, I did respond to your email. Let me know if you find it. Hello, Fisherman 506 from New Brunswick. Let's give it a couple minutes, see if more people come in.
Okay.
And then we'll start going from there. We had a little excitement last night. We'll tell you about it here in a few minutes. There's John. Hey, buddy. You doing good, John? We tried to stop in and see John the other day while we were in town. And unfortunately, we ran out of time because we had to get up to Talkeetna to Moore's Hardware to pick up a package that was dropped off. You'll see what's in the package here soon.
Yeah, we didn't know we were going to have to do that when
No.
we made our
plans. And we had to be there by a certain time to pick it up.
So they didn't close before we got there.
We made it with 2 minutes to spare.
Yeah, we did.
Luckily, the
2
guys.
2 minutes, exactly.
Yeah, luckily the guys at Moore's like us.
Thank
So
God.
it was all good. All right, we got a few people in here.
Yep.
Up to 7. That's good.
Yay. That's very nice.
Just ginger ale tonight.
Yes.
We picked up a soda stream over the weekend while we're in town, and it actually works pretty good. We got the ginger ale and the root beer flavor, and I think a Pepsi for when I do a rum and coke.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier to do it this way than lugging cases of pop up here.
Yes,
for
and it
mixed
doesn't
drinks.
take electricity.
Nope.
Poof.
But I'm really liking the ginger ale.
Me too.
Hey, there's Josh and there's Phyllis.
Hi, Phyllis. I love my blue rug. It's mostly gray.
It works really good.
It really does. It covers up so much of the plywood. It just makes the room seem much more done and more comfortable.
Yes, it looks really good up there. I'll have her post. I'll take a picture of it later and I'll post it on the YouTube community channel. John says he's doing good.
Good.
He's saying hello to Alone, and Josh is here from Alaska, Southern Roots Alaskan Branch. Says, hey, you're all listening and driving and listening. Hope you all doing well. We are. And of course, we know, Phyllis is here on break. And there's Clint. Good to see you, Clint. All right. The dog is stretching on the floor. He's got his all 4 feet stretched out, stretching, trying to scooch across the floor on his back.
I couldn't figure out what that's. Yeah, well, fits right in.
Yeah. So last night we had a little bit of a mishap here. I cleaned the flue on the stove in the springtime after the winter. And we've been doing light burns for cooking and stuff like that. Because this time of year, as it's cooling down, I'm starting to make different types of food, more food, stuff like that. And a little 2-burner stove is not working. So
it's just not enough.
We've been firing up at night and in the morning for doing breakfast and dinner. And we fired it up last night, and it was only about not even 8 minutes into starting the fire. Sarah says, "Something smells hot." And I'm like, And I happened to look up at the pipe, and the galvanization frosted. And I'm like, oh.
I had never seen that happen.
And I knew what it was instantly. We were having a micro chimney fire. So I instantly pulled the cap off. Those that don't know, we are out of our wood-fired cook stove. We have the pipe that comes up and it's telescoping and goes to an elbow to a T, so we can clean it out from inside instead of trying to go on the roof whenever we got to do, because the roof's got a pretty steep pitch to it, and it's metal and it's slippery.
And it's 2 stories.
And it's 2 stories. So I take the cap off and I look up and I can see the cap is, well, I turned the stove down and, to help douse the fire, and it stopped any fire that was in the lower part of the flue, but the cap was, I could see embers. So I ran outside to see how bad it was, and it was flaming. So I ran back in the house, grabbed the extinguisher that I keep on hand just for this purpose, and stuck it up the flue and hit the trigger a couple times, and it went out instantly.
But what a whew.
Yeah, poor Sarah. I'm barking orders at her where to find this, where to find that, and she's just like, I don't know what I'm looking for. So now
I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know which way to go.
We'll be setting things up for little emergencies like this, so she knows exactly right what things are at. I know where everything's at in my head. She doesn't always know where it's at, even though she's the one that organized the toolbox. Go figure, right? But we did get that out with no issues, and the chimney's fine. The stack from right above the stove up through the roof is all the I guess it's metal asbestos double walled insulated piping, and it's stainless steel, and it takes a high temperature to affect stainless steel. So it's all good with that. The stove's fine. That stove is quite thick. I mean, it'd have to be a raging fire in there for a while to have an effect on that. Some of the galvanized pipe that comes off the back where the T is and where the elbow is might need to be replaced. I'll probably replace it just for hell with it, just to make sure it's okay, and have that as a backup. But it was a short scare for Sarah. I've dealt with this before growing up on the farm.
I had not.
Yeah, growing up on the farm, we always had, my dad has actually been banned from using the chimneys for the last 15 years because he kept having so many chimney fires. It does give good cred to the guys that built that chimney originally, to going all these years and being okay. Alone says we froze.
Oh no.
Are we still frozen, guys? No, we're okay over there. All right, so let me go back up a little bit. Everybody's greeting everybody.
Good.
Alone says, oh no.
We're frozen.
No, it's further down. Alone says, I'll be installing a clean out T when I get a new cook stove. Yes,
absolutely.
I recommend it. It's just easier than going on the roof. Just have a big tarp to spread out on the floor. We're actually going to be doing a video tomorrow, so I'm just going to clean it tomorrow, and just that way I can see how it looks, make sure it's okay. And
it'll be ready for winter.
Right.
It's going to be easier when we're not lighting it in the morning and then letting it go out and then lighting it in the evening.
When you have your temperatures go up and down like that, it's going to cause a little bit of condensation in the flue. So you're going to get a little bit of creosote buildup from that. Alone says we are already installing that, which is good.
Yes.
No Clint, no luck with moose. Tomorrow is the last day for season in my area, and it's not looking too good. However, I could have had a few bears.
Yes, we should have had one in particular.
There was one. I went out onto the porch a couple days ago, and I looked down the hill where I have some ICB totes stacked up. And what do I see? A rather large bear sitting on top trying to reach down inside to figure out what's in there. So I grab my 50 caliber and I run out there, and I see she got down, and you can see where she's going through the brush. Well, it's actually ferns and alder. And I can see everything parting. So I get a little bit ahead of her and I get the rifle ready. And all of a sudden I see a second movement in the brush. And I'm like, cub maybe? And all of a sudden this little cub, no, I shouldn't say little, it's probably about 150 pounds, shoots up the tree. And I'm like, oh no, can't shoot this one. And then mom stands up and she's about 15 feet in front of me. I'm like, uh-oh. And I shot towards her and with my black powder pistol, and she kind of leaned forward a little bit, huffed at me. I shot a little closer, and again, she scampered off. We suspect it is the same bear that we had an issue with a few months ago when we were going down to the tracks. She has a blaze on her right side of her chest, and the same bear here had the same blaze. So I think it's her,
It's
but only
probably
with
her,
one cub this
yeah.
time, not two. And then yesterday morning, I go down and I'm doing my running around in the woods looking for moose. And I get down by the railroad tracks and I come out close to my stop and I step foot into the clearing area where the tracks go. And all of a sudden I hear a lot of commotion. And I look across tracks and here comes a moose. It's a cow. And hot on her heels is a mid-sized brown bear. And he's chasing her. And I have a plastic jug I use for scraping on the trees to help attract the bulls. So I threw that down and he looked back, looked at me. Moose kept going. He went back into the woods.
Good.
And I should have just tagged that one. Would have been nice for a rug.
Wait a minute.
And
Nice
then
rug.
Sarah went on the hurricane turn party train yesterday. Today's the last day of the hurricane. We will now. So Sarah takes off on the train. I did not go because I fell early in the day and pinched a nerve in my neck and shoulder. So I wasn't going. About 5:30 rolls around. I go down there to wait for the train to get there. And it's late.
It was really late.
Around 8, about 10 to 8. I just happened to look down the tracks and I see this big old black blob moving around. I've got a video out. I'll post it as a short here later on or tomorrow. And I'm looking, and it's a rather large black bear wandering around on the tracks. He was a half mile from me and I could see him fairly good. So it gives you an idea how big he was. So that was yesterday's adventure.
Too many
The last few
bears,
days.
not enough moose.
Yeah, they're having an issue with
What?
This is being silly.
Yes.
With the amount of predators in the area. Actually, in most of the areas right now, there's
A lot.
the moose numbers are way down.
And the bear numbers seem to
It'd
be
going up. So from now on, we're gonna have to start doing our side to help protect the moose.
Yes.
Malone says I just put an order in for a Rutland creosote remover.
Good.
I'll have to look that up.
Hmm.
And put it. Oh yes, I actually have some of that on a medium. Better. Yeah, I have a little jug. That's that can that's underneath the baking station.
Yes.
It does work.
Good.
Malone says Froze, you're back now.
Oh.
Good to hear that nothing major happened. No, it's all good, John. I'm pretty.
Yeah.
I'm really good in a bad situation. I keep a level head. I had to being on the boats for all these years. So, I've had, I haven't had accidents, but I've seen accidents happen on the water, and had somebody not been level headed, there would have been major problems. Clint says we cut up, but we're okay.
Good.
Nope, you're good. Alone says I will look for that video.
Yes.
Glad you were not charged or hurt. No,
Right, yeah.
I'm pretty quick on the draw. My guns were already leveled at her. And I'm pretty confident in my shooting and power of what I have that'll stop pretty much anything here. Clint says, wow, good thing the bear didn't come at you. Yeah, no, she was pretty close, but black bears are kind of ninnies. They have a tendency, if you fight back or charge at them, they'll kind of go the other way.
Subi says he has to go out.
Okay, let him out. Just check the out back.
I know.
I've been calling Moose, so she's going to let him out, and I don't want to have an issue. He's already come nose to butt with a moose. Yeah, Josh, we actually are in Bear Central between me, down to Ed, and I get another friend that's in Chase too. He hasn't seen as many bears this year, but he's seen quite a few. Yeah, actually, I did try the call that Adam said, and of course it don't work. Yeah, there's a lot of bear activity. Hey, Rushing Wind Mountain, how are you? Good to see you in here. Everybody's greeting them. Is it Sinmay? If it is, welcome. If I didn't say it right, I'm sorry. How did you find us? Or are you somebody we know? I'm just listening her out there, make sure nothing happens. Yes, John, I agree. The bears might be a winter meat supply. If they keep coming around, somebody's going to take the long last hibernation nap in the freezer. Josh says that the call don't work. He's tried it. Not a tassel with a bear, but we've had had one sow and a cub up here, but it was last year's cub, and a run-in with not a run-in, but had a brown bear close by, then a black bear about a half mile down the track, so it was fairly large. Sorry, I'm still listening. Make sure she's okay. Okay, yeah, she's talking to him. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be a moose in my near future. It'd have to be here in the next 24 hours. So unless a miracle happens, we'll see. We did pull all the veggies today. We're supposed to have a freeze tonight, so we went out to the greenhouse today and picked all the tomatoes. We got them in bags ripening now. The last of the cucumbers, the zucchini. We dug up all the potatoes. Unfortunately, the soil in my area is really, really hard, so we didn't get a whole lot of potatoes, and I did not mound them. So next year, we're going to try a few different things when it comes to potatoes and see if that helps. We'll do a little bit more mounding, things like that, see if it helps, and plant a lot more. I think we got maybe 15 pounds of the French fingerlings, which is quite a bit of French fingerlings because they're rather small.
They're small.
What do you got your bunny? He's got his little stuffed rabbit and he's looking at us funny. Oh, Alone says she don't expect her first frost for another week.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to happen. All of a sudden,
No,
I looked at the weather
wasn't.
last night and it said we're supposed to be down to 29 tonight. So that put me in a panic to make sure I get my potatoes out of the ground, because growing up on a farm in New England, and actually New Hampshire was the first place that potatoes were grown in this country. I know what cold weather and even a mild frost can do to a crop of potatoes really quick. And I don't want that.
We have more than last year.
Yep.
We have more of everything than last year.
Definitely. We've got 3 paper bags on the counter right now that are half full of tomatoes to ripen up.
And they're little.
Yeah, they're little. The tomatoes did not do good in the greenhouse. I don't know what's up with that. I'll try again next year, but I'm going to try different breeds, see if that helps a little bit. Phyllis says to Josh at Southern Branch Alaska Branches, our son tried it also and it didn't work either. But it was a mama moose. Clint says, wow, freezing already. Was in the mid-90s here today. Ooh, too warm for my butt.
Yep.
Hey, Ed, how are you doing, Mountain Mariner? Everybody's greeting everybody still.
It's 50 now here outside.
Yeah, it actually warmed up late in the day, but they said it was actually supposed to be 57 today, and it did not reach that. Ed says it was 30.
Are you chewing, Bunny?
It was 36 at his house this
I
morning.
don't want to have you chewing. You ripped his ears off.
She's chastising the dog.
Dog.
He's doing dog stuff. Hello, Annette. Good to see you in here. She's in the middle of cooking. Hopefully it's something good. And everybody's greeting Ed. Yeah, winter is around the corner for us.
It is.
We went from green to yellow in a week.
Yep.
I will post pictures and a short on that here soon.
It's pretty. It's nothing like the red maples in upstate New York, but it's quite pretty.
Yep.
It's yellow.
Alone says, actually looks like tomorrow overnight low will be 36. Don't trust the app, so might pull garden tomorrow. Yeah. I'm not going to risk the veggies. I mean, yeah, it's not a winter supply, but I've got enough tomatoes that I can probably, blanch them and peel them and can them for sauce. I can probably get about 6 quarts. We'll see.
We'll see.
And John's saying hello to Alaska Cut the Cord. And I did say the name right. It is Cineme. You said it right. My hubby just calls me Brat. LOL.
Cute.
Oh, Annette's making homemade pizza. That's one thing I have
Yeah.
not done.
Nope, we have not had
We
it.
haven't actually had a pizza in a while. Sarah hasn't had one in a couple years. I had one over the winter when Mom was here, but we had a calzone
the other night.
from Mountain High Pizza in
Mountain High Pizza in
Talkeetna, and it was
Talkeetna.
really, really good.
It was really good. Mhm.
JR says, I'm waiting for the brownies to cool before diving into the pan.
Yay,
I
brownies.
for the party, I always bake a bunch of stuff for the train party. And for the crew, I did Harvey Wallbanger cakes yesterday. And I did a batch of cinnamon buns for everybody else on the train, and everything went over really well.
Really well. Several people wanted the recipe.
Yep.
And I don't know.
No, she don't know my recipes.
But at least I was able to tell them, well, it's a yeast bread base and it's got brown sugar and cinnamon in it.
And then they asked her what the
About the
frosting was on,
frosting.
and she got it right. She told them that it had cream cheese in it. So it was good. Alone says, I'll be leaving the cabbage until first frost. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm kind of hoping tomorrow does frost, because then I can get out and get all the rosebuds. Because we've got a
Oh, yeah,
lot
the
in this
hips.
area. Yeah, the rose hips
Mhm.
and the cranberries as well.
Oh, we better get blueberries.
Yeah, we got to
Will
get
they
more
be-
blueberries. Well, there's plenty of blueberries, but with
Right,
the first
yeah.
frost, it'll help get them a little bit sweeter as
Sweet.
well.
We got quite a few last week.
Yeah, we got we filled up like a dozen, well, actually more than a dozen sandwich bags full. They're in the freezer now too.
Mhm.
Ed says, yep, all yellow up here now. Didn't
Good.
take but 7 days to go from green to yellow.
Yeah.
Like you said, yeah, it's
Goes fast.
crazy.
Goes fast.
I can, sitting here, I can look out the window and I can see an extra 40 yards into the wood line
Yes.
compared to what it normally is.
I wouldn't be able to tell you the distance in measure, but it's a lot.
Really.
That's all I know. And I did notice it, so there.
Clint says, have you tried looking for gold in the creeks? Yes, I have, and I found a few flakes. I haven't done anything major or serious. I just, when I go down to start to pump water up to the house from the creek, I'll go down there with either my little sluice box, or I'll go down there with a pan. I'll classify a little bit and then just slosh it around.
Mhm.
Nothing serious.
No.
Alone says, do you harvest your rose hips after the frost? Mine are mush as of a month ago. Really? I see. I've always been told to harvest them after the first frost. Look, right now I can go out there, still a little on the hard side, and they're really tart. Maybe your area's a little different. I'm not sure.
It could easily
But you
be
get a lot,
different.
you get a little bit more cooler days than we do. See, our cooler days are just starting to get here.
Mhm.
We've still been in the 40s and 50s, sometimes low 60s during the day.
Mhm.
And we've only been into the 30s once or twice at night. Like last night, we were 39 degrees when we get up. So we're not hitting, the mid 30s yet until tonight. They said, let me just check
It's
that.
supposed to be
Now
low.
watch, it's not going to
Well,
be
it's just
cold
not going
again.
to be cold because we already harvested the whole
Right.
garden.
Let's see.
Mhm.
Yep. It's going to be, well, it's still going to be, could be a frost. It's going to be down to 30 instead of 29. We'll see what happens.
Well, that's only 1 degree. It just sounds a lot.
And
a
Ed
whole
says,
number.
I've done a little gold prospecting, nothing much yet.
Mhm.
A little, but everyone says to get gold prospecting metal detector. Yeah, I've been thinking about that as well. I do have a little bit of a heads up on where it is up here. James was doing a little bit of prospecting up here, and I've actually got parts of his old suction dredge here. And then as well as the guy that owned the cabin down the trail from us told me where he was getting it from. And the area he told me from, he was getting a fair amount in a week's time. So we'll see. Right now, I'm not worried about it. It's more of a fun thing for me to do than trying to make money.
It is kind of fun.
It is. Alone says, interesting. Our overnight lows have been in the mid to high 30s, well over a month now. Yeah, see, that's why you probably had yours go to mush.
Right. Because of the consistency of the cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're cooler for a longer period of time than us. Clint says to Ed, you're probably sitting on a mountain of gold, right? He says, I hope. Yeah, and it's crazy because this whole area, like where our creek is, it's all cobble and clay. So there's bound to be something down there because this area was all formed by glaciers. So, I mean, it had to be deposited somewhere along the way.
Yep.
John says, all my birch trees are gold now, and it's 52 degrees, and they're something bright yellow in the sky. Really? You got sun?
Oh, my.
Not here. I mean, I can see blue
Nope.
skies off in the distance to the west, but
Not much. They're pretty
not getting any
silvery.
sun.
silvery color.
Yep. Hey, on to it, Ozzy.
Hi.
Tad late, but hello, Rob and Sarah and everyone in the chat. Good to see you here, onto it, Ozzy.
Absolutely.
Everybody's greeting onto it, Ozzy.
Good.
Trying to think, there's something else I was going to discuss, and I'm trying to remember. I'm having a brain fart.
Did you tell me?
Probably, but I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Hmm.
Oh, the new freezer is
Oh,
amazing. It barely draws power. It's set at 5 out of like 8, and the freezer's like -10.
Mhm.
The other freezer is all the way up, and it struggles to be at 10
Right.
above. So in the springtime, that one's getting replaced too, and
Yes.
I'm gonna have 2 smokers.
Wow.
What do you do with the rose hips alone? You can dry them and make tea out of them. You can make jelly out of them. There's a lot you can do with them. It's high in vitamin C,
Well,
which
that's a
we
good
need in the
thing.
wintertime up
We
here.
all need it in winter.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely.
But
Mhm.
those are going to be ready. Like I said, the high bush cranberries are going to be ready. Blueberries we've been picking.
Mhm.
Raspberries are done. There might be a few left out there, but by now they're probably getting all soft and yuck.
They seem to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't we didn't tromp through there as much this year as we did last year. More so because we have a lot of fresh first year sprouts out there, and it takes 2 years from the start putting out fruit.
Right.
So we didn't want to really disturb it this year. Next year it's going to be a little different. We're going to have
Mhm.
a lot of raspberry.
Yes. And then we'll do some pruning. It's such a dense growth that it's hard to find them and hard to get to them.
Yep. So we're going to
So
cut
we're
paths.
gonna cut paths.
Yep. Alone says, I do make rose hip tea, but thought about chutney guy. You can probably make some good chutney out of that alone.
Mhm.
Russian Wind says they've made the rose hip jelly and it's to die for.
Good.
Hey, Seashell, good to see you. And there's
Yes.
Christine from Gillum Farms.
Good.
Good to see you. All right, there we go. I was just checking to make sure that we're streaming okay.
Good.
John in Alaska says, I found rose hips along my road for the first time. Really? Yeah.
Oh,
We've got a
good.
lot of them up here.
Mhm.
When John Hogan was up here, he was running around looking at them all over the place, trying to get pictures of them. But
Mhm.
every time you get near him, the petals it was at the time when the petals were falling.
Mhm.
So he never really gets too good of photos, and he didn't have one to press into his book to bring home.
Oh,
And Alone says the streaming is working good. Good.
Thanks, Alone, for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that,
heads up.
Alone.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure I haven't missed any questions here. It does not look like it. That's good. Everybody's greeting everybody that's coming in a little late, which is fine.
Mhm. Excellent.
Better late than never, right?
Mhm. And it's nice to have friends who are friends.
Yep. And Adam and Phyllis will be following us again tonight around 5:45.
Yes.
So just bear with us, and we'll make sure we get over to them.
Mhm. Excellent.
What do we get? I think we got both of our freezers are Kenmore's, but the new one we got it's garage rated. So I think the insulation is a little bit better.
That's going to
and
make a
it's
difference.
and it's meant to be outdoors or in a warm area. Now we had a problem with the little freezer dying, as you guys know, but the
Right.
other freezer is having issues because it is not freezer or garage rated,
Right.
and it is when it kicks on, it'll draw 30 to 40 amps at a time for like 5 minutes before it goes into its cycle.
Yeah.
So it's having issues.
Mhm.
It might be kept as a backup. I don't know. We'll see how it does in the springtime, but regardless, it will be replaced with a new garage ready one.
Yeah, that seems to make a big difference in the power consumption.
The old one is 14.5 cubic foot and the new one is 18.5 cubic foot. And the
Woohoo.
new one draws half the power that the old one does. The old one was never used until we got here. It'd been sitting in the barn for a long time. So that might be part of the problem. I don't know.
Mhm.
But when it's drawing that kind of power, what are you getting into? There you go.
Playing.
He just knocked over my tablet down there. If I can have two 18 cubic foot freezers running at the power of one 14 cubic foot freezer, it's well worth the money. It's a little, they're about $1,000 a piece plus the shipping to get them up here. It come out to about $1,200 a piece for us. but the less worry of chewing through my batteries and stuff like that
Yes.
is well worth the money spent.
Well, there was no question it had to be done when the
Yes.
first one went down. And the second one, it kind of makes sense to be proactive.
Yeah, before we have an
before
issue.
there's an issue or a crisis.
Yep. Like when we went into town the other day, because I didn't want to have the other one running on a regular basis, we threw everything into a lot of the blocks of butter into the and it ran perfectly fine between the sink on, the freezer on, the refrigerator on, and a few other, security cameras, things like that.
Yep.
3 days, we went from 100% on the batteries down to 39% on the batteries.
Yeah.
So that gives me confidence now, had we be getting sun or once we have more panels up, it'll run more efficiently and it'll charge better even when it's overcast. Like today, we were charging at about 3 amps while the clouds were out. So we ran the generator for about 2 hours and then shut it off, and we're close to about 96% right now.
Oh, goody. Then maybe I can do a little laundry tomorrow.
I can do the laundry
I can do it whenever I want. I just have to turn the generator on.
All right. I'm sure I missed something here. Let me scroll back up a little bit. Everybody's talking to Seashell and everybody going back and forth.
Good.
Waiting for brownies to cool is frustrating. Yes, it is, JR. You should have seen us. We got those Harvey Wallbanger cakes done yesterday, and we devoured 2. I think I made 8, and I had to send 5 on the train.
5 went on the train.
Wait a minute.
No.
Where'd the 6th one go? Oh, you had it for lunch. That's right.
No, I don't think I had a leftover half.
We're missing it. We're missing a Harvey Wallbanger. Zeus.
No. I wonder if it's in the refrigerator.
It might be. Everybody's still talking back and forth. Nice. All right. Don't forget the thumbs up. Thank you, Ashley. And yes, JR, proactive is better than reactive.
Absolutely.
By far.
Absolutely. That's what we try to do, is a half step ahead at least.
Yep.
And we're always making lists and always doing inventory.
Yep.
And the only thing we've actually run out of is ice cream. And
we forgot to get more when we're in town. So it's going to be at least a month before she can get ice cream.
But I binge.
She binges
when I get to town. Every time we go into a shop,
gas
a
station,
store,
or any place that has ice cream,
anything,
she's
I'm at the freezer. I'm at the freezer grabbing a bar.
Every store.
Ice cream bar.
It says if it clears tonight, there should be a great northern lights.
Oh,
A CME was sent this way courtesy of our son yesterday. Ooh.
Nice.
Ashley says I got the email. Good.
Good.
6+ they say on the Aurora forecast. Oh, wow.
That's good.
Is the forecast to clear up at all, Ed? I hope.
That would be nice.
Have to run across the street. Abominable snowman across the abominable snowman yet? Yes and no. There's a story behind that. I'll tell you another time. Keep y'all in suspense.
It's funny.
And JR's asking Ed when the CME will hit. CME is coronal mass ejection. That's what
when the lights.
Well, no, it's what the sun sends off. It's I'll show you a video of it later. It's easier to see to see that. Yeah. Ozzy says, I'm turning everything off here. Only thing I run is fridge and a few lights at ATM at the moment. And will be interesting to see the next bill. Yeah, you guys' electric bill is like astronomically high.
Oh.
Ed says, of course, it'll be cloudy and raining probably, right?
Right.
Always. It's been a crazy overcast summer. The time when John was up here, it was perfect for like almost 2 weeks straight, and then went downhill fast.
Yes, it did.
Rushing Wind says, don't mention Northern Lights. That number 2 on my bucket list gets real jealous when I hear them. I can't see them. You guys should have had a little bit of a showing last year, Rushing Wind. Hello, Deborah. Good to see you here. Welcome. And Terry from Louisiana, welcome. Good to see you. Alone says, saw some Northern Lights last night, just mainly a green hue. Yeah.
A lot of green.
The green hue
Green
makes
is
it kind of
common.
feel kind of eerie, especially when Halloween gets here. It'd be
does.
kind of cool.
Ooh.
Clint says onto it, Ozzy, I practically live in the dark. One thing full time is my refrigerator and ceiling fan. My electric bill is almost nothing. You're lucky.
Good.
Do you cook? Yeah, he did bring the Florida weather with him, and it was nice while he was here.
It was. Mhm.
JR says
Bright and
CME
pretty.
wreaks havoc on ham radios.
Hmm.
Here, taking 1,000 mile away from 90 watts.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
it creates a lot of problems with a lot of different things. The
That
satellites
wouldn't
for
occur to me.
satellites
Huh.
for the
Didn't know.
Starlink and other
Mhm.
companies, cell phones. Anytime you get a CME, it creates havoc all over the place.
Huh.
Too big of a CME can put us back into the dark ages.
Oh my.
It'll basically wipe out our system. But then you're going to have places like where Fukushima, Seabrook nuclear power plant, any place that's got a nuclear power plant is going to glow in the dark because it's going to melt down.
Oh my.
John says, what's an electric bill? Right, John?
Yeah.
We got a fuel bill. That's the only thing we got.
We do have fuel bills.
Russian
They're not every month, and they're not hardly predictable.
No.
We kind of
Depends on how much running around we're doing on the machinery.
right. And
Rush-
we kind of get fuel when we
As
before
need.
we need it.
Yeah, we've got about 350, 400 gallons right now. And that'll last a
Ready
little
to go,
while.
yeah.
But here in another week, I'll be going crazy cutting wood, getting it
Mhm.
ready for next year.
Yep.
There's a lot of dead spruce I want to get down.
Mhm.
Rushing Wind says we had a lot, but our northern location on the mountain is blocked by other mountain. Yeah.
Mhm.
And exactly what is an electric bill? Hey, Scott from Rambling with the Brahms. Good to see you, my friend. Clint uses natural gas for cooking. Good.
Good.
Scott's dropping out some links. Appreciate that, my friend. And where did God just seen? That is why I prefer mechanical over electrical. Exactly.
Mm.
Clint says, unfortunately, living here, you have to go on the grid. Yeah. Onto it. I was Clint, 60 a month for just the privilege to have it connected.
Wow.
Then whatever you use. Oh my gosh.
So there's
They
a
charge
minimum?
you a fee just to be connected?
Oh my.
That's nuts. That is just crazy.
Wow.
I mean, well, I guess no, because FPL out of Florida had a surcharge for the connectivity, but it was only like $5 to $10.
My bill in Florida was not very high.
No, you kept your AC at a constant and it was
I
not
did.
overly cold or you
Right.
heat. Wow. That's just $60 to be
And
connected.
I did cook with bottled gas.
Yeah, she
down
did use
there.
bottle gas.
So that helped.
Yep, gas too has a supply charge. Yeah, most places can be
Wow,
like this. See
yeah.
up here though, or even down in Florida, if you got gas, down in Florida, most gas is going to be propane, so you're not
Yeah,
going to have
there's
you're going to have a
no
fee for
natural,
delivery,
yeah.
things like that. Hello,
That's
Rebecca, Touched by Yarn. How are you?
Hi.
Good to see you. And she says she's resting. She says hello to everybody. Clint says to Onto It Ozzy, wow, my bill is usually only $25 during summer with AC is about 80
Yeah.
or 60. Wow. That's pretty good.
That is good. It's
That's
very
pretty good. That's not bad at all. I was paying more than that when I was hooked up at the marina.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I wasn't using AC in the winter.
Right.
Everybody's greeting Rebecca. Scott's still sharing out links.
Good. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? Feel free to ask. Ed says a Carrington event size CME that happened in 1859 will put us back in pre-industrial age lifestyle. Every copper wire on the planet could be fried. Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, AFJ. Good to see you.
We'll go to the barn and drag out all the kerosene lights. Lantern.
Right. We do have a lot of good stuff like that up here.
We have, yeah, backup kind of things.
I don't know all the effects on it, if it's off or if it's in a Faraday cage or anything like that. See, like, I don't know if you guys do it, Ed, but you know, on a sailboat, if we get into a lightning storm, we put all of our things we need, like for navigation, GPS, a spare GPS, a cell phone, stuff like that, inside the oven on the boat, and it would act as a Faraday cage. I don't know if you guys do that on the big boats or not, or if you even worry about it. You guys can get struck by lightning just like us sailors do.
Yeah.
Okay. Rushing Wind says, yep, sounds like doomsday if we get a fairly large CME. Yeah. It actually might do the country some good, except for it would be hell of food shortages. We need to get more seeds. We just don't have any grains. We'll be pretty much just eating meat and veggies.
Yeah. I like meat and veggies.
So do I. I like my bread.
Well, that's true too.
Without
your bread
grains,
that you make.
without grains, I'm not making any desserts or anything.
Ah, that's not good. Dessert is my main food group.
She's not lying.
Next year we'll be extremely selective on our seed types and we'll probably order them instead of just looking at the packages on the racks at Woolworths.
I'm gonna probably get on and go to some of the heirloom seed companies that I've dealt with in the past and just order a seed vault. Onto it, as I said, speaking of seeds, big box stores are now treating lots of seeds with poison. Why would they do that?
That's insane.
Uh-oh. We froze, but we're back.
Oh, quick. In and out.
What's my favorite dessert, Terry? It's hard to say. I make a lot of different desserts. I like my traditional cheesecakes that I've done.
I like cheesecakes.
I like my flan when I do flan.
Love flan, and he did a nice flan.
Yeah, I did a
not long
flan
ago.
about a month ago. I need to do another flan.
Yes, dude. Please.
Harvey
Harvey Wallbanger.
Yeah, the
cakes
Harvey
are
Wallbanger
good.
cakes are really,
They're
really good.
good.
But if you've got an issue with alcohol, don't eat them.
Don't eat them.
Not mine, at least.
No.
You're not going to get drunk or anything, but.
But it is an issue.
Yep. JR says, I've been hit by lightning 2 times in a jet, both times over 50 miles away from the storm in clear air. Yep.
Wow.
One went out the left wing tip, the other went out the tail. Yeah, I've actually been on sailboats, been struck that were usually about 5 to 10 miles away from the actual storm.
Yikes.
And it was pretty bad. John says, Rob, this boat I have is my first big boat. Will you be my executive offers next year? Yeah, John, just call me. Not an issue at all. I've got thousands of hours on the water. I think I've got enough miles under my butt on sailboats to circle the planet twice. Terry says, wow, you're gourmet. Yeah, I've done a lot of cooking. I've worked at some ski lodges. I've worked at some high-end restaurants in my life. I don't do as much as I used to, but I do it enough to keep the food interesting here now.
Yep.
AFJ is talking a greeting, everybody. Onto it, Ozzy. Termin Apron XL. It's on the label. Seeds are big pink, blue pink, or fluoro green. That's just crazy. Why would they put poison on the seeds? I don't understand that at all. I mean, it's as bad as, what's the company, Monsanto, whoever's doing all the GMO, like corn and stuff, where it doesn't have, where it has Roundup in it. That's horrible, says Alone. Apple strudel, yeah, apple strudel's good.
Apple strudel.
I haven't had apple strudel in a while.
Cobbler. We haven't had that. Like
what, cobbler?
Ever. Yeah.
Well,
especially peach. Peach is hard. Yeah, peaches are not easy here. Really not easy.
Yep. JR says 3.15 million nautical miles in the air for 26 years. That's some serious mileage.
That is.
I got a good friend of mine, Neil, who I used to cruise with on his sailboat, and he used to go day sailing with me on mine. He was a World Air pilot for a while. Now he's with FedEx. Scott. I ain't saying it, Scott, because last time I said it, Starlink booted me.
Right. Can you spell it?
I ain't even gonna say it.
Nope. Okay.
Read what Scott said.
Read what Scott said.
AFJ says Monsanto is evil. Yes, it is. And is Hogan Homestead. Good to see you in here. Yeah, Monsanto, a lot of people don't know, but back in like the 70s and 80s, they were running around in the cornfield areas, taking handfuls of the corn, throwing down to the cornfields. And then they come through after when season come around, say, hey, how'd you get our seeds? And then they sue the farmers and basically try to corrupt them or make them grow their seeds. That's how they started it all. It was bad juju.
Yeah,
You know, they
bad
were
stuff.
jerks. Everybody's talking AFJ about Monsanto being evil. Everybody's agreeing.
Mhm.
Now we have, what was the one we had down in Florida? The mining company. We had a big phosphate mining company down in Florida, and they would dig down and pull out all the phosphates. And of course they had gypsum stacks, which is the waste of making the fertilizer and stuff like that. And about 7 years ago, they had like a 4 million gallon gypsum stack disappear down into the aquifer. Like a sinkhole about 50 feet
Yeah,
wide
I
opened up
remember
under it.
something.
And all that liquid from the gypsum stack went down into the water, into the aquifer.
Into the-
It took
yeah.
them 13 days to notify everybody and notify the state that it happened. If I remember right, the chemicals and everything that's extracted and left in the gypsum stack is radioactive to a point.
Mhm.
And it all went down the aquifer, and nobody was informed until after it was done. And then, oh, it ain't gonna hurt you, but
How could it
it's
not?
radioactive and it's toxic.
How could it not?
You know, it's messed
I
up.
remember that big stink.
Yep. Everybody's talking about Monsanto. And the funny thing was, is they were always sponsoring all our sailboat races and stuff down there, trying to make them look important.
Yeah.
JR said, oh, sorry, Russian Wind says, love peach cobbler and pecan pie. Yeah, pecan pie is good. I haven't had that in a while. JR says FedEx and UPS is a good job for a pilot. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He gets some serious airtime.
Mhm.
He was actually over in France recently. He took 2 weeks off, went over there and was hanging around.
Nice.
John says, I remember when my mom made homemade bread pudding with sourdough. Yeah, I have a sourdough starter here, and I have not done it yet. I've got to get a kitchen scale, so I can measure. Sorry, everything out. I'm not used to drinking pop, so that's why I'm burping.
Yep. Bubbles.
Yep.
We have bubbles.
Onto it, Aussies. There is a warning on the back of the pack that says, "Do not eat, feed to animals." Unbelievable. I bought a pack to show a few people who didn't believe me. I use heirloom and I save my seeds.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best way.
We do.
Yep.
Heirloom.
I think the seed company I buy from is Birch Creek Seeds. That's ones I used to buy from. If they're still around, I'll probably be ordering a bunch from them. Malone says to John, use leftover and stale Costco croissant rolls for bread pudding. Yeah, I haven't done bread pudding in a while.
No. You've done rice pudding.
Yep.
But I don't even remember you doing bread pudding.
I have not done bread pudding since we've been here. We eat the bread too quick.
That's the problem. That's true. That's very true.
JR says no packs to deal with flying cargo. This is very true.
Mm.
Hey, Maccabee Speed, good to see you in here, man. Somebody share out Maccabee Speed's link, if you would, please. He is an air gun guy like me. He's got a hell of a channel, and he's always tinkering with a lot of the AEA stuff and the big bore stuff, and he's creating some nice stuff for to go with those things for accessories. JR says strawberry and cherry cheesecake is the best. I prefer cherry cheesecake over anything else. And my mom taught me a recipe many years ago when I was a child, and I've changed it and made it my own, which is what I do with 99% of my recipes. I make them all my own.
We're growing rhubarb.
Yep.
This year, I better run out and pick that tomorrow morning.
Yes. Yeah, use that up, and then we'll
Wood,
divide
yeah.
them out and move them around a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. I don't know that they're quite ready to divide. Yes, they're only 1 year old, really.
Yeah, you might want to let them go until next
I'll
year.
let them mature. The stalks are still thin.
Letty
Um,
Lane, ask Elaine, she'll tell you, or I'll ask Wayne. So, they're the ones that
right.
give it to us.
Yeah.
John says,
Arlene. Yeah.
yeah, Arlene, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Rice pudding is something I haven't had in a very long time. I hear you, brother.
Yeah.
Everybody's greeting Maccabee Speed. AFJ says banana pudding
Mm-hmm.
recipe on the Nilla wafer box is the best. Yes, that
It
actually
is
is
good.
good.
It is good.
It is pretty
I'm
good.
about to pick up vanilla wafers. I love them anyway.
Yes, we need to get more Nilla wafers.
Yeah. I use those for.
Maccabee says open raptors are so cool. Love it. God, I wish my life was more simple. My mom is from the Coast Guard base on Kodiak Island.
Mm.
Is that where this is? No, we're about 2.5 hours north of Anchorage and about 13 miles to the town of Talkeetna.
Mm-hmm.
We are way inland.
And Talkeetna is about this big.
Yeah, it's got about in season about 2,000 people, out of season maybe 900 people.
Yeah.
And Maccabee's greeting rushing wind. Brun says, hello, I'm making coleslaw from my own cabbage and boiling potatoes for dinner. The spouse is arriving back home after 3 months working. There you go.
That's too long.
Good to see you, Brun.
Yes. Wow.
No, we're Maccabee, we're pretty remote up here. There's no roads or anything, no trails. Only way in and out is via the train. And as of today, there's no go back in except for once a month for us.
Right.
We're out here.
We are.
Way
Well,
out here.
we have our trail that gets us to the spring and the creek and the rail tracks, the railroad,
Yeah, we have some trails.
which we made, and well, they were kind of here, but we maintain them. We meaning.
Cool. Was my info correct on the base? If she's Coasties, yeah. If she was Coastie, then yeah, there's a big base down at Kodiak and there's a couple bases down in Southeast. I believe there is a small base in Anchorage, but I'm not positive for the Coasties. We have Jaber in Anchorage, but that's landlocked. Everybody's greeting Brun.
Nice.
Brun says, hi, everyone. Hi, Seashell alone, onto it, Ozzy, rushing wind. Glad to see you all getting in here. Any questions, guys? We got some time to kill before Adam and Phyllis get here.
Yep.
Max says they transferred from there to Petaluma, California in the 50s, maybe 60s. Yeah. I haven't been to Petaluma in a long time. I traveled around California for a while when I was in my late teens. Now we go over to coffee.
Right. Cold coffee.
I have done trap lines when I was younger, keeping the critters out of our fields on the farm. I have not done any trapping up here yet. I will be trapping on my property. I will not trap off the property because we have a local trapper that's been in this area for, well, he's 38 now and he's been here since he's 13.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a true bush baby, and that's his livelihood.
It's his livelihood.
He is a hunting guide, but
that's so seasonal.
Yeah, it's very seasonal. He only does 1 or 2 guides a year.
Mm-hmm.
He's extremely good.
Yes.
Do you have trap? Okay, I already saw that, and he loves skill sets. Yeah, I'm actually going to be working on something involving fish for a skill set, and you guys will see that in an upcoming video over the winter time.
Right.
Bag limit on bear? ? In this area, we can get 1 brown a year and 3 black bears. And I will be filling my quota, and so will Sarah. We will have a lot of rugs if they keep coming around being a pest.
Yeah, they're a little peskier this year than they were. Like last year, we didn't have any trouble with bears that I remember in particular. The first year, we had one on the porch.
Yeah, the first spring we had the one bear come up to the porch of the cabin.
But I don't.
Last year we didn't really have too many. A lot of tracks, but they didn't come up to the house at all last year.
This year
they're brazen.
Yes, brazen. Exactly.
Yep. Brunt says, how is the roof and walls holding up since you redid the greenhouse? It's actually going really well.
It
I need to
is.
seal the
Yeah.
gaps up so it
Yeah.
keeps the heat in a little bit better.
It's yeah. Although the end toward the away from the barn part, some of the plants got pretty hot.
Yeah, they got burned a little bit. I got to put in a
A
ventilation
little
system.
better ventilation.
Well,
Yeah.
John says, my dad's profession was trapping. He had a 200-mile trap line north of Living Good. Yeah, I don't want to be out and about that long. I'll just trap around the house. We got marten here. We got the ermine, and we got lynx and fox and coyotes and wolves. I can, if they come on close to the property, I'll grab them up. Jonathan already said he won't put anything too close to the property because of Zeus.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I can go out a little ways and not interfere with Jonathan's trap line and not feel
Mhm.
bad if I get something.
Right.
Alon says, do you need a tag for brown bear? The Department of Wildlife said no tag needed for brown here. Now we don't need it. We have to have the permit to take them, but we don't need to tag them or anything like that. Though I do have something cool. Hang on a second. Just looking at this the other day. See if you guys can see it. It's probably going to be backwards, but that is a Alaskan resident brown grizzly bear tag from 1984. I found that on the property.
Wow.
I'm sure it was backwards though.
Yeah.
Clint says, loved trapping as a kid. We would trap raccoons, bobcats, but not much market for the fur these days. That depends what you get. There's quite a bit of market up here. We did back in New England. We did raccoon, fisher, squirrel, anything to get into our fields. We knock out. Back then we didn't have a whole lot of coyotes, but we did have them. Brunt says, love a good rug homemade type, right?
Yeah. I have an empty space at the foot of the stairs that I think needs a
Nice
spare rug.
Maccabee says, cool. What time of year does the first major snow hit you guys? It varies.
It really does.
Our first year, we didn't really have any snow until almost in December. We had the last part of,
and then it came.
Yeah, then it came hot and heavy.
Great force.
Last part of November of 21 and beginning of December, we had like 2 weeks of sub-zero weather with no snow. So all piping in the area up here froze.
Yep, that was unfortunate.
Last year we had snow by, a good amount of snow on the ground by early November, mid-November, because I walked to town last year to go into town for something. And I walked back.
I walked back. You walked back because we had an
emergency with the
inverter issue.
And there was quite a bit of snow on the ground. And I did that with 75 pounds on my back and no snowshoes. It was not fun. That was the last 5 miles were pretty bad.
Not good.
Clint's okay.
Yeah, there's no trail whatsoever for at least the last 5 miles.
Yeah, there's trails to within 5 miles of the house.
But that 5 miles is rough.
Yep. Nope, I just messed up. There we go. Brunt says I've only trapped wildcats here. Yeah, there's places down south where they're trying to do that, but then you get all the kitty people, the crazy cat ladies that go ballistic because they're trapping the cats. Actually, there's a lot of states in the southern U.S. where it's actually legal to shoot them. People freak out about that too, but people don't realize that felines in the United States are the biggest invasive species in the country. They kill more other animals, and they've actually wiped out a few different types of birds from the face of the planet.
Oh, wow.
So cats outside are no-go.
Like house cats?
Yes. On to it. Are you ready? Are you nearly ready for winter with your supplies? We have one more supply run we're going to do in October. It will be good.
Yep. I need more bourbon.
Yeah. Hello, BE 400A. There must be somebody in the lone nose.
Nice.
Brunt Free says, what do you do to prepare the house for winter? Stock it with wood.
Stock it with wood.
It's really all we can do.
Yeah. We put the
insulation around the
outside
of the crawl space. So, and it's made a big difference already.
It really has. And we're hoping that will keep us with water. We've got that 400 gallons
under the house.
And if that doesn't freeze, we're home free
Yep.
for the winter. We can keep it full.
Yep. And my friend John is helping me set up a system. We're going to put some high efficient computer fans underneath the couch
Mm-hmm.
to be able to turn them on and off in different speeds at will to blow warm air under the house to keep everything from freezing.
Yeah.
It's on the sides of the house to get equivalent of R10 all the way around. So
Mhm.
it shouldn't take too much to keep them from freezing as long as we put the warmth down there every now and then.
Right now it's 51 outside. It's 69.5 inside.
And she'll tell you what the other side is.
Under
Uh-oh.
the house.
Lauren says our audio is cutting in and out. Hopefully it doesn't take too long.
Under the house is 53.
And under the house is 53. Okay.
Yep.
There's an issue on a loan. Said she logged out and came back and it was fine.
Oh, good. We're glad to have you back. Hello.
It's run same thing.
Mm.
Ed says only harvest ticket needed for black bear, nothing needed for grizzly if you're a resident 13E hunt area. Really?
Really?
Then why did they make me have one last year? They actually printed one all out and all that.
Don't know.
Onto us is all good here. Ron
Good.
Free says I have cats, but inside they have a whole room and outdoor enclosure. They like it. I don't have a problem with cats. I'm allergic to them. That's the only thing I
Yeah,
have
they
with them.
make me sneeze. At one point I had 5.
Yeah. When I was years ago with
They were good cats.
my ex, we had way too many of them, and they lived on the lanai that was glassed in, and only I cleaned the box, so
Ew.
it wasn't too nice in there.
No.
John says, "What kind of bourbon do you drink, like Sarah?"
Well, I like Maker's Mark. I
She
don't
likes-
get it that often. I like Bullet. That's about the same price. It's maybe $1 cheaper. And so I end up with Jim Beam.
Yeah, she got Jim
Yeah.
Beam.
That's what I end
I'm
up
not a
with.
bourbon
And it's
person.
perfectly adequate.
Yeah.
You know, you put a little cherry juice in.
Vermouth.
Little vermouth, yeah. It's nice.
Onto
I
it,
like the first sip the best.
yes.
That moment of frisson.
Yep.
It's lovely.
Onto it, Ozzy says your Vegemite will be there, so you can pick it up on your next supply run.
Good.
Hopefully, they don't bin it. And hopefully it comes in.
Yeah.
Brun says I'm coming into summer here, so it'll
Good.
be really hot
Mhm.
and will melt, but it's okay. On BE 400A says audio good here. Alon says
Good.
maybe hint area refs are different for where you're at. Actually, I'm in the
Maybe.
same hunt zone as Ed. He's 13E, I'm 13E.
Mhm. Mhm.
Rob, hint number 1. BE 400A is a private jet. Oh, okay.
Oh.
So it's gonna be JR. That's what I think. John Alaska, I enjoy Henry McKenna. I don't think I've seen that bourbon.
No.
Brun, I like stout. Lots of bottles are always in the bar fridge.
Mm.
And of course, I know Alone likes stout too. Yeah, Alone, bingo, Rob. Yeah. As soon as you said the airplane thing, I knew it was going to be JR. God, I know a number of pilots, but I know they're working right now, so they will. BE 400A is a private. I don't know what that is. I don't know what model that is or what it looks like. I don't know a whole lot about planes. I've flown a little bit, but it's all in small things. Onto it, Aussie Brun. You drink stout, but don't like Vegemite. What?
What?
Oh! Alone put JR in a timeout accidentally.
Uh-oh.
You can put other moderators in timeouts. Interesting.
Oh, no. That's so cute.
Brun, I like cashew nuts with my stout and potato chips too.
I like cashew nuts with cashew nuts.
Oh, it's a beach jet. Okay.
Oh.
Guilty as charged as Alone.
Mhm. Aw.
No, I have flown. I was kind of contemplating going for my experimental and or my general aviation. I've flown a lot of ultralights, a lot of light sports. I actually like the airbornes, which I believe are out of Australia. That looks like a big hang glider with a carriage you sit in and a rather big motor on the back. I just found them really easy to fly, and I could never make one stall. No matter how far I push it forward, it wouldn't stall. I've flown Go Bosches and stuff like that. Actually, I think I got a video on my Facebook of me flying the Go Bosch. Brun says, onto it, Ozzy. Correct. Vegemite is for kids. Stout is for real women.
Cute.
Ed says, I need to send Rob some surströmming. What is that, Ed? Don't know what it is. Is it a beer? I do like stout. I do like dark beer. I'm a Guinness guy. That's about really the only beer I drank.
No beer.
Though when I'm around Adam, I'll drink what Adam has around too. Brian says, Rob and Sarah, do you stay updated with your first aid skills in case of emergency?
He does.
I do.
can do a Band-Aid.
Yeah. I can do basic surgery if need be. I don't have all my implements. I don't have all my sutures and stuff. Well, I got some suture stuff.
You have some
I
suture stuff.
don't know if I have my scalpels anymore.
I don't know
What?
either. We have an X-Acto knife. Does that count?
It'll work.
Yeah.
When I lived on the boat, I always kept. I was supposed to have, but I kept a full medical kit on the boat.
Mhm.
Long passages, if something happens, and you're, as Ed will tell you, miles offshore, you're not always guaranteed to get a helicopter to come out and get you because they can't always reach you. So I kept full med kits. John says, Henry McKenna, 10-year-old bottled in bond, Kentucky, straight bourbon whiskey, 100 proof.
Mhm.
Gramercy wine and spirits. Interesting.
Wow.
BE 400A for Wayne Rogers out of North Carolina. Oh, cool. Right? Alone says, Rob, Brun, and I need to share a round of stouts. There we go. I need to actually start. Maybe I should start brewing a little bit of beer.
Oh, maybe.
Clint says, my favorite beer is free. Nothing wrong with free beer.
Mm.
No, I've never been a beer person.
I kind of like mead.
Yeah,
I've
mead's
had
not
some
beer,
mead
though.
that I like. It's not beer, but
I was going to
it's
buy honey to make a batch of mead. Last year,
priced the
Costco's
honey.
had it. I could buy a 5-gallon bucket for $100. This year, it was almost $200 and something. I'm like,
yeah,
nope.
not this year.
I'll wait until I can find it cheaper.
Yep. And then until we didn't buy a new freezer.
Yeah. But I've still got to get all my stuff together. I need to get carboys. I need to get burpers. I need to get all the stuff to do it. So it'll be a little bit, probably next year. Russian wind, be back in a bit. Have a dog going crazy for a walk.
Oh, I had one of those already.
Brun
He
says,
went out and he's back in.
yeah, Brun says, JR, I can roller skate down. Does that have to count? Maccabee.
Yes.
Time to spend some time with the kid. Thanks for
Oh,
streaming, guys. You're welcome, Maccabee.
yes. Enjoy the child.
Can we get a PayPal link to donate this directly? Actually, I do not use PayPal. Me and PayPal are at odds because they screwed me over. We'll figure something out, brother. I'll be in touch with you, Mac. To it, Ozzy, go, Clint. Ashley, you've never flown, Ashley?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Just stepped out on the floor and zip, bang.
Yeah.
That was a bad time.
I just copied what you wrote there, Ed. I'll YouTube it afterwards, see if I can find what it is. See, I made a ginger ale from scratch. I have done ginger ale from scratch. It's been a while, and yes, it is good. You can vary the strength of it. Just sipping, I like a nice light one.
Mm-hmm.
But I drink a dark and stormy every now. Ginger beer with rum in it. So I like it nice and strong with the ginger for that.
I love the smell of his rum. I don't love the taste.
Prone says, you better sit down. I can do anything. JR. Alana says, I wish I knew you liked to brew, Rob. I left a bunch of carboys in Colorado. Oh, are they glass or plastic? I will only use glass. I've had problems with plastic before where it actually destroyed it. It was a really nice batch of mead coming along, and there was something in the pores of the plastic, and it destroyed the batch.
Oh.
And it was out of some really good, expensive honey I got.
Mm.
Uh-oh, cutting out.
Oh,
I
no.
froze. Froze here too, but you're back now.
Zoop, 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 zoop.
Cinema says, we live off grid in the Talkeetna area, so kind of neighbors
Yeah.
in around and about way. Oh, are you
Absolutely.
on the road system? Or are you on the Chase trails? Where are you at, Cinema? We're about 13 miles north of town on the train
On
tracks.
the train tracks.
Clint says we're all good now. And she
Oh,
had
good.
glass carboys. Nice. I seen somebody selling carboys on Facebook yesterday, and I was half tempted, but I'm like, I ain't gonna be in town, so it's kind of
That's
pointless.
pretty rough. Yeah.
I'll start looking for some in the springtime and try
When
to
we
get
can get in and out of it.
yeah, try to get another batch. When I make my batches of meat, 30 bottles out of it, and that'll last me a while.
Mhm.
Actually, nope, never been in the air. My dad wasn't airborne, and you can't get him on a plane now.
Right.
That's like, I got friends that like to parachute. I'm like, why would I jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
Yeah. My first flight, I think I was 10. I went on a seaplane with my mother in the Adirondacks. There was an island with a little cabin on it that where her father had stayed, and so this bush pilot, if you will, in the Adirondacks, out, and it was fun.
Yep. Let's see.
Otherwise, I just fly commercial.
Yep. Cinema says, longtime lurker getting used to following live chat again. Reminds me of the ICQ from years. Oh my God, I haven't heard ICQ in a long time. Oh, wow. On to it, Ozzy, with you on the plastic rub. I use
Yeah.
glass for all my storage and canning and drinks.
Mhm.
Yeah. We do have some things for plastic, but if I'm doing things that are going to go in the freezer for a while, I prefer glass.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can have plastic lids, but nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, that's true. I don't do plastic in
No.
particular.
I use plastic Tupperware for certain things, but not for
Not
food
much.
generally.
Yeah.
Brian says, Cinema, you best be neighborly and take cake to visit.
Yay, cake.
Now, if you can give Brun's recipe for her cake, we might have a deal.
Oh,
Because I made her cake and it was
it's
really good.
That chocolatey thing. Yum.
Alone says that is the issue with Craigslist. You can't get there within a day. Things go fast. Exactly.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
actually missed out on a tractor during the summertime. It was an old John Deere that just it was a John Deere with a backhoe and a bucket. Needed some wiring issues, and it was dirt cheap. It did run. They had it Mickey Mouse to start and all that. It just wouldn't go off the regular wiring harness, and it was $6,000. I couldn't get there quick enough. By the time I got back in touch with the guy, it was already gone. I was not happy.
Yeah.
Ashley says, Dad's paying the price now, lower back and hip issues. Yeah, I bet. John Alaska says, Sarah, my sister lives in the Adirondack outside Lake Placid in Upper J.
Oh, it's really pretty.
That
in
area
there.
is really
it's
nice.
Really pretty. Yeah. We went to Blue Mountain quite a bit, Inlet. Went to the dump and watched the bears.
Right. Lone says, I'm with you, Sarah. Glass and metal or silicone lids.
Yeah.
Where do you find silicone lids? I wouldn't mind some of those. On to it, Ozzy. Share the cake recipe, please. You got to talk to Brown on that one.
Right, it's hers.
Hey, my wild homes. We have Melody. We have
Hi,
Ryan. Who
Melody.
is it?
Hi, Ryan.
Good to see
He's
you.
here. Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody share out that My Wild Homes link if you would, please. Clint says, just got a bit by a skeeter. Oy vey.
Oh, no.
Oops.
Oh no.
Everybody's greeting my wild
Yeah,
home.
last time we were log splitting, I got bit in the ear like 6 times and it
Yeah,
all
her ear
swelled
actually
up.
swelled up,
It
almost
swelled
swelled
up.
closed.
Yeah. I'm going like, pull, pull, pull. I can't hear you. It
Right.
was really irritating. Stay away from skeeters.
Yep. Everybody's greeting my wild home. Everybody's greeting, or she's
Yes.
greeting everybody.
Nice.
Fran says, for chocolate cake recipe.
Ah.
Cake, maybe?
Mm. That's how I like rum.
Yeah, yeah. It says,
And
get your
cake.
glass blowing gear out of the locker and make your own carboys. I have not done
Mm.
glass blowing in a long time, and I never did it really that well on that big of a scale.
Right, yeah.
I mostly did pendants and jewelry, stuff like that. I was doing a little bit of apprenticeship work for a guy down in Punta Gorda who was known in South Florida for doing glass blowing, but he was doing like monster things, and I never get that
never
kind of
got-
skill to do that.
It's
And nor do I have a foundry to put the glass in.
right. It's not a cheap
And hobby. No.
Yeah.
Just my little torch cost me about $1,000. I'm sure you
Mhm.
can find them cheaper, but I don't like buying other people's problems.
Mhm.
Alone says Life Force makes silicone lids for their products, or I think that is who I have bought from in the past. I'll have to look them up. My wild home. Hey there, Mountain Marina. Can't share. I lost my blue label. hang on, JR. Let me see if I can do it. Should I put him in a timeout again?
Aw.
There you go. Hey, Hogan. Good to see you, brother.
Absolutely.
All right,
Yep.
JR, you have your abilities back. Fisherman's greeting my wild
Your
home.
superpowers.
Sarah, my wild home says, Sarah, it is lovely to the core. Nice to see her smiling face. Yes, she is. I agree. She's a sweetheart.
And thank you.
How did Haley?
I can't read this.
How did the saw turn out? We actually just got the saw, and we have not played with it yet.
We just got
doing
back.
that. Yeah, we just
Well,
got back into town yesterday. No, day before yesterday.
And
Saturday.
he's going to open it.
I'm just going to do I'm going to do a proper review on it from start to finish.
Exactly.
I used to do reviews on YouTube on a regular basis, and I have a format for doing it. So I'm going to try to do it on that as well. And then I'm going to put everything head to head and see if I can blow one up.
Yep.
Cinema, can you make flour with dried zucchini? I don't know. I've never tried it. I'm going to have to take one of those and dry it out and see if I can do it.
Never heard of that.
That's got zoomed ahead. John's saying he's late. Sorry. That's no worry, John.
Better late than never, dear heart.
JR say, Alone says you should have it back by now, JR. Ed's greeting everybody. John's greeting everybody.
Nice.
Ooh, hang on, slow down,
Whoa.
Rob. Rob, do you have a log splitter, or are you still young
Yes.
enough to do it? I do both. Generally, if
He
it's small
can, but,
stuff,
oh,
I do
I'd
the
rather he
small.
didn't.
Yeah, if it's small stuff or stuff that's really dried, I'll use the axe. But I predominantly use a splitter because right now I've been splitting birch, and some of the birch pieces, as John shows you, will tell you they're about 20 to 25 inches across.
Huge.
And I cut them around 16 inches long, and they weigh about 100 pounds because they're saturated with the liquid from the trees.
Yeah. It's not the best time of year to be doing
No, I drop most of my
birch,
trees in the wintertime
but
so they can
they
not have
needed-
as
They
much
needed
fluid.
to come down.
Yeah.
Those were not in good shape, and they were on a place they would fall on the trail and or the house. They needed to come down.
Yeah.
And they were not good, simple trees to start with. They were growing higgledy-piggledy. Wasn't good.
Melody was talking to Fisherman 506 about this saw. Because I remember now, because Fisherman 506 was somebody else won the saw, and they were gifted the saw.
Nice.
She just got another one, the 6th one. Wow.
Wow.
Oh, the 6-inch one. Nice.
Good.
Very good, Melody. He says, I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. Looking after the boat after the storm. Yeah, how do you fare on that storm up there? It went up your way.
Wow.
And then fished for 18 hours straight. What I missed? I got a saw for review, John.
A little one.
A little saker. You'll see it soon enough. JR says, anything I don't get put in timeout. Melody and Ryan we have some widow makers and hoping to get them down next Sunday.
Yeah.
They are cabin crushers. Yeah.
Yeah.
This house doesn't have very many big trees. Actually, there's no big trees around it now, but
No,
in between the barn, the generator building and the trapper cabin, there is a big old birch that if it falls, it's going to take something out. I mean, it could even take the cabin out if it fell the right way.
It's big.
So it's got to come down soon.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy says, roofing iron for my chicken run has arrived.
Oh,
Best
good.
go help mate unload. Take care all. Take it easy onto it, Ozzy.
Yeah, do.
Get those chickens taken care of.
Yay, chickens.
Only two things drop from the sky: bird crap and idiots. Right, JR? I ain't jumping out of a perfectly good airplane unless I have to.
Nope.
Everybody's
I had a
saying,
cousin who did it. He thought it was fun.
yeah, there's nothing fun about falling out of an airplane.
No,
I'll
not
pass.
falling, but he jumped out.
Well,
He went
You're falling.
Yeah, you are falling.
You're falling.
The only way is down.
And it's not the fall that hurts you. It's that
It's
sudden
that-
stop at the end. Brun says bye to onto it, Ozzy.
Mhm.
Everybody else saying bye to onto it, Ozzy.
Bye.
John says the 330T is almost finished. Porting and tuning will make a great saw for you to do in the debarker. Nice. Thanks, John.
Good.
Sorry, my phone's going nuts over there. I should have it turned off, but I keep it on in case I have to make the switch again.
Oh, yeah.
Fisherman 506 done good, but much damage to the fleet this time. I hate hearing that, especially about boats. I take it you must be a commercial fisherman. And if I've missed anybody's questions, feel free to ask again.
Oh, please.
Please.
Dog?
Yeah, he's grunting in his sleep. Yeah, he's commercial.
Yes.
I don't know how you guys do it. I mean, I've been out to sea for long periods of time, but you guys' boats sometimes can be pretty small. I don't know what size you're on, but I know the lobstermen out of New England, their boats are like usually under 50. Fans go out tomorrow. Thanks, John. If they go out tomorrow, they should be in town by the time we go in the next month and get that
October.
installed.
And it'll be timely.
Yep. And get that put in. That'll help keep it warm under the house.
Yep.
Yeah, even John says commercial fishing, no joke.
Yep.
I did help with a friend doing commercial fishing, but that was from mullet. And we were just throwing cast nets. That's as much as I wanted to do with it. JR says, my idea of a nice boat is about 205 foot and up. I've worked on some big ones, but I've never owned one that big. I think the largest I've owned was 40. But being a sailor, I don't like things bigger than that because you get into some good swells. At least you can ride in between them. You get into some of those big boats, you're going through the swells in front of you.
No clue.
And Fisherman says, retired 2 years ago and now going with son on a 42-footer. Well, that's not
That's
bad.
nice. Nice to go with sun in.
Yeah. You guys, what are you guys fishing for? Tuna, stripers, lobster? Yep. 35 is a sweet spot down there, John says. Now, I had no problem with my 32 going down to the Keys and stuff, going offshore. It was never an issue. Even the 38. I mean, I've done it in 26. Actually, no. The smallest I went down to the Keys with was 25. Brun says, I have a little boat, but the sharks in Australia are bigger than my boat, so I don't take it out much.
No.
Yeah, you guys get some large whites down there. You
Mm.
get some makos every now and then. Nah. Melody says, "You sound like you've had such an interesting life, Rob.
He's done
I've had a pretty good
lot of
life. I
stuff.
cannot complain. I've done a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things. My grandfather told me when I was young, don't wait until you're old.
Right.
If you can, do it now. You know, there's things I would have done a little differently if I had to do it again, but not an issue with what I've done in my life. I'm pretty happy.
And I'm delighted where we ended up.
Yep. Clint says all you need is a good bass boat. Not up here. You need a jet boat up here.
Yeah.
John's saying hi to Bron. John says Mako washed up on the beach here in the Gulf. Really? When? That's unusual to see a Mako down there, especially wash up.
Maybe he was lost and in the wrong place.
Bron says, hey, John, I hope you're doing awesome and healthy, happy and smiling.
Me too.
John Alaska says, my first big boat was a U.S. Navy destroyer and went through 2 typhoons. That was scary. I bet it was. He's going after lobsters. What are the lobsters selling for a pound up there? No, and where you're at? I think New Brunswick. I think you said. I haven't had a good New England lobster in years. John says it washed up last week on the beach. It was big news. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I take a kayak out sometimes to a large dam and fish for redfin. Most people regret the things they didn't do rather than what
Exactly.
they did do near the end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now, I'd rather go out and experience things and try things now while I can. I mean, if I fall and get hurt, and I can't move around, now I've got another 30, 40 years where I'm an invalid, and then I would never get anything done. I'd rather try to get it done now. $7.50 a pound. That's really not that bad. I think the last time I saw lobster when we were still down in Florida, I think it was like $20 a pound.
Oh, that's smart.
And is that Canadian? So it's gonna be about $5 a pound US, I think, somewhere roughly.
Well, there's
Nice.
markup at every step.
Yep. Jared says they used to fly to Bar Harbor every weekend during the summer from Raleigh and Durham. Yeah. I've been to Bar Harbor in years. And that's $7.50 Canadian. So it's about right around $5 roughly US. Brun says I gotta watch. I gotta keep an eye on the time. Adam and Phil should be coming on in about 15 minutes, guys.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Brun says, but mostly I metal detect at the beach
Yes.
or old ruins.
Oh,
Not scared of
ruins.
sand or snakes. Only sharks and weird people.
Ah, smart girl.
Sharks don't bother me anymore. I owned a dive company for about 10 years working on boats underwater, basically doing the maintenance, changing props, cleaning through hulls, changing through hulls in the water, things like that. Finding things to fall overboard. I was underneath a boat and I was watching these sheep's head, which is a little fish that's got teeth like humans. They look like humans when they smile. And they're eating all the barnacles. I'm scraping off the boat. And I look up and it's really sunny out. And certain times of year, you can see really far in the water in Florida. Sometimes you can't. And all of a sudden I see this bunch of shadows moving around. I'm like, oh, what is that? I'm thinking tarpon. They got a little closer. It was a small school of black tips, maybe about a foot long, maybe a foot and a half long. They're little sharks. And they start circling. This circle's getting a little tighter and a little tighter, and a little tighter. And I looked down at my foot and this little sheep's head picking the barnacles up my foot. And all of a sudden I see this one little black tip posture up and their fins go down and they kind of get rigid. And he kind of wiggles and comes flying in to grab that sheep's head. That little sheep's head goes, boop. And he grabs a hold of my foot and he's shaking the heck out of my foot. And I grabbed the hold and slapped him around, threw him up on a dock. I had him for dinner. And I did have a very close call with a bull shark. And it was in the wintertime and I had on a 7mm 2-piece sweatsuit. And I had to have like 50 pounds of weight on to get my butt down out of the water. And my mom was there, my ex Phyllis was there, and the owner of the boat were there, which is my mom's friends. And I'm in the water and I'm cleaning the hull, and all of a sudden I lost consciousness, and I was worried about alligators. And when I come to, which is, half a second later, I had about an 8-foot bull shark coming at me. And what had happened is he'd come in and turn sideways and grab the weight belt and just start shaking the hell out of me, where I lost consciousness because I was whipping so hard. And when he'd come back at me, I hit him with a bang stick. It didn't affect him. And I just grabbed the side of the sailboat and I just walked on water, getting up on top. And when I took my weight belt off, my mom freaked out because it was full of teeth. Well, not full, but it had about six or seven teeth in different pieces of the lead weights. And I've still got that down in Florida in storage in my mom's place. That was insane. That was the closest I think I've come to death in the water in my life. It was bad. I refused to go swimming in that area or even work on boats in that area after that, because it was actually in a landlocked area. You had to go through gates, locks to get into. So I got sidetracked. Yes, I could tell you a lot of different stories. I've done a lot of things and experienced a lot of things. Some people just shake their head like, what? Hogan says, spiders and sharks, nope. For this man, they smell fear and I stink. I've been around them. Jared says it costs $5 to add a lobster tail to steak dinner back in 2000. Yeah. John says, Brun, no joke. You want to see me walk on water, throw a spider. If I see a shark, I'm in the water. Clint said, definitely not for spiders. I'll hurt myself getting away. Yeah, spiders kind of freak me out. I mean, sharks, snakes, they don't bother me. Ron says, lobster is called crayfish here. No, those are bugs. What you guys get are about that big, but you guys do have some bigger bugs. Just teasing, bro. Called crayfish here and are super expensive at restaurants, like they're really expensive, crazy. I refuse to pay big bucks for it, but good fish off my beach free. Yep. Yeah, it's like here. You can get the Alaskan king crabs in places like $60, $70 a pound, and it's like no.
Well, I'm lucky because I can't eat shrimp, crab, or lobster.
Yep.
They make my lips swell and my throat swell shut. It's not a pretty picture.
John says, my wife Angela is my spider slayer. Yeah, she is.
Yay.
You need a bug assault like I got. I think you've seen it. I think it was in the cabin you were in, John. Brun says,
yeah, that was funny. That's a funny little thing.
Yeah. Brun says, I got bitten by a tiny redback spider and a little furker. Put me in a hospital with nurses, but the nurses were nice. AFG says bull sharks are really dangerous. Gulf of Mexico. They've been known to go way up the freshwater. Actually, bull sharks can go up to 1,000 miles inland from salt water.
Wow.
And I was on the southwest Florida, so we were on the Gulf side, and they are nasty. They're aggressive, and the area we lived in was actually the breeding ground for a lot of different sharks. Brun says, and I got chocolate and flowers, and that was nice. Yeah, you're right, John. One of our friends, Ed, got nailed by a brown recluse, and that was bad. He had to have skin grafts. He had, when a brown recluse bites you, it basically brought you from the inside out. And he had a hole on his elbow where it bit him, but the hole extended all the way up his arm. He had to have a vacuum bag on. It was horrible. I've been bitten by vinegaroos, and they're just as bad. Women, Candygram, my foot. You get out the here and call the police. You're the shark, and you know it. Boys, wait. I'm only a dolphin. Well, okay. There's no brown recluses here, or have you been bit by them? Only time I've heard of brown recluse in Alaska is down at the shipping yards.
Oh, yeah.
In Alaska, Dakota, I've had them in Australia, and they're like half the size of a lobster. Those are talking about the crayfish, yeah. Ed says, LOL, land shark. Watch the necrosis happening. It was nasty. Yeah, it's bad. He was like that for, God, what do you have that vacuum pump off? Like 3 months, John? About as long as you had yours on after you had your heart surgery. It says for some reason the skit came to mind when we talk about shark. It was in Colorado. Yeah, now I'm not a fan of the spiders. I've come close to being bit by black widows. I actually was in my shop working, doing some glass blowing, get up, went in the house, got a drink, come back out, went to sit down on my little seat, and I saw a black widow there. I'm like, looks like it's dead. Legs are all up in the air like this. I scooped it up, put it in a little clear film jar, and that SOB stayed alive in that jar for almost a month.
Wow.
And I finally said, hell with that, put a little pinhole in it and put some ether in there. Made him go
Get him in.
night-night.
Wow. I don't know my spiders. I did get bitten on the thumb once in Florida, and it swelled up and stayed for a month.
Yeah, no.
I don't know what it was.
Don't like them. I mean, I don't mind them. I'll stomp on them. Daddy long legs, we get up here, I'll let them eat because they'll eat the mosquitoes.
And they say it's bad luck.
Yeah. Brown says, now you're all freaking me out for tomorrow. I'm going to be the bush to explore. I'll be edgy for spiders. Yeah, boy, you got bad spiders down there, Bron. Yeah. I'd rather not play with your kind of spiders.
The spiders here are not bad. They're small and what?
John, I used to have a guard turtle.
Mm.
I think we actually touched on that when you were up here when we were on the live, John. John had we called it the Coke turtle. That thing was so damn fast. It was unbelievable. It chases down the driveway. Mind you, it was a small turtle. It was crazy. He did not want us out in the road or anywhere on his property, even though it was John's property. He chased us. We were walking back and we're just looking like, it's coming. Run. Hey, Tony at our cabin in the woods. Good to see you in here.
Yes.
We only got a few more minutes before we got to go to Adam and Phyllis's. Grab your phone so I'll bring it up on mine so we can see when they come on.
Yeah.
So we can go over to their live.
Mhm.
Alone or John or JR, you guys want to share a link to Adam and Phyllis's live for me, if you would, please. That way, then when it comes time, we can drop a link and go.
Yay. Party.
And it says about 5 minutes is what it says. So we're good for right now. Yeah, turtle was no joke. The rabid turtle was rabid. Oh, tongue-tied, sorry. Yeah, that turtle was nuts. I just seen his little legs going a mile a minute coming down the road. I think that was a box turtle, John. Clint says, I'm already freaked out. I can feel them crawling on me. Sorry. Ed says, if anyone wants to watch the funniest horror movie ever, Ice Spiders. It's so bad, it's good. Oh, no. No. I have a hard time with the movies that are so bad that they're good. It's like Cocaine Bear. That was, I mean, yeah, it was based on a true story, but it was just like, oh my God, they did a horrible job. They could have done a lot better. Instead of making a silly, spoofy, goofy movie.
Did we watch that?
Yes, we watched
recently?
Cocaine Bear.
Not
It
again.
was not memorable. We've watched some others that were just like, no, I got to change that. That's that bad.
They're that bad.
The sun in the air bar with my post-nasal drip, so don't mind me. Brun says, my favorite movie is Fried Green Tomatoes. Well, I'm going to be having them tonight, so I already made my sauce.
Yes, I love that movie.
Thank you for dropping that link to the Adam and Phyllis, JR.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. And, before we want getting out of here, I really want to say thank you to everybody here. You guys showing up and being here for the live is amazing. Sarah and I both appreciate it. And seeing y'all in here is just great. I think at one time we had 22 people in here, so it's kind of nice to be having our numbers going up and down a little bit more. It used to be that we'd only have 12, 13 people in here. We're sitting at 14 now, and I'm not going to complain. But it's nice to see the number fluctuate with new folks coming in and out. That's always good to see. We're slowly, steady climbing towards the 400 subscriber mark. We're bouncing between 394 to 398. Every day it goes up and down. We did finally break that 1,000 watch hour mark, so that's always a good thing. We're just going to keep plugging away and see what happens.
Fun. Yeah.
Yep. Love you too, brother John. and we miss you
Yes.
up here.
We do.
Try to get Angie to come up for Christmas, man.
Absolutely.
We'll figure out the train schedule. I'll give you a call in the next few days. See if we
Yes,
can figure out
Christmas
when
is
you guys can come up
gorgeous
next.
here.
Yep. Clint said, had another fun evening talking with everyone.
Good.
Good.
Glad you enjoy it, Clint.
And of course, Brun says, I'm looking forward to the next time. I'll spend lots more time with my chosen one. So I'll
Yes.
try to keep up.
Yes.
What about
Glad for that.
Sharknado? I never watched Sharknado. Never watched it. And Jared says links from Annie and Adam and Phyllis helps the noobs.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Love you too, Alone.
Absolutely.
And John says we have cocaine sharks there. Yes, they were having problems with sharks eating the bales of cocaine and the bales of
my.
marijuana floating around the Gulf.
Right.
Well, they were being tested for all kinds of other drugs down in the Fort Myers area.
Crazy.
Anyways, they're going to be starting up here. We got 2 minutes for them. So
Good.
why don't we all just head over there and get ready and bomb them with welcomes and highs and love.
Yes.
So let's all get on over there. It was good to see you all.
All of you.
I want to thank my
you.
moderators, John Hogan, Adam and Phyllis, JR, otherwise known as BE400A, alone in remote Alaska. I appreciate you guys coming in and helping out. Scott, if
Very
you're still
much.
here, I don't know if you're still here, Scott. There you are. I see you. I remembered you. Don't think I didn't. Yeah, the square groupers. All the new folks that come in tonight, or the ones that have been lurking and finally speaking up, greatly
Nice.
appreciate you being here.
do.
AFJ, Ashley, Brun, Seashell, every one of you. We
Everyone.
greatly appreciate you being here for our videos, for our lives, and watching our videos that we put out every week. And we'll start getting some little bit more interesting ones coming up soon. There's been a lot going on, and I'm trying to get some stuff done for editing.
Yep.
And John just sent me a link to something. I'll have to check it out. I think it's probably about the shark in Florida. Anyways,
probably.
let's go over there. Hey, Ed, and thank you for being here. I appreciate that too, my friend.
Absolutely.
Y'all didn't have the holy hand grenade for that turtle. No. All right, guys, let's go over and say hi to Adam and Phyllis, and we'll see you over there.
See you over
Thanks
there.
again. Love y'all.
Yep.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, AFJ.